Hello, everybody, and welcome to the half. You may recognize the person who's sitting next to me is not Aaron Montgomery, but is the illustrious Terry Combs of
Uh,
the Two Regular
and,
Guys.
and I am a half. I'm half of the two regular guys. So,
This is
although
absolutely the truth.
we're really thirds, but
Yeah. I mean, it's a well-known secret at this point, folks. Yeah. Also, I'm the size of at least two normal people, so that's not only
that's
we
true.
halves. I'm also
That
two
camera's
halves. Two
lying
people.
to you right now, everybody.
Yeah, I'm a man mountain. It is just the case. I there are times where I wish I wasn't, and I'm certainly trying desperately not to be anymore. But hey,
Yeah, if we were in the same room, I'd be looking up, talking to you just like this.
a little bit, a little bit. Oh man. All right. Well, glad to have everybody in on the half. It's been a kind of a busy week. I know for me. I know Terry. I assume for you too. Seems like
Indeed.
Terry may or may not be able to be here much longer because he's busy enough. It seems like things are heating up out there in the world of decoration and the world in general.
Yeah, absolutely. We were talking about earlier on two regular guys that
Yeah.
that we've been through one trade show. I've had two actually live in person screen printing classes, and it's kind of funny the way people just kind of tentatively look, because like everybody shows up in a mask and they see other people don't have a mask, and then they go down to their chin, then they come off. And so my first class here in Phoenix, which is pretty open.
Yeah.
Um, Two gentlemen from California left their masks on. As soon as everybody else walked in and saw that other people didn't have masks on, they came off. Same at the show down in
Right.
Irving.
Yeah.
Some of the vendors, even in their booths, I'd say 20-25% of them weren't wearing masks when I walked in.
Really?
And yeah, and then just as the day progressed, then masks again on the chin and then in the pocket. And so I think it's going to be an
Right.
avalanche of change. People are going to be like, okay, those folks over there, they're obviously vaccinated, not wearing a mask. I'm in. I'm I've been trapped behind this mask for too long now.
I think that's the case. I mean, honestly, when I'm talking to people in New Mexico, the thing is, people kind of assume because we're down here down southwest that we're going to be, masks off all the way. But we've been super strict here, and
Yeah.
so here we're still pretty buttoned up. I mean, you don't go to a store and see people without a mask on, even though we now have multiple stores saying you don't have to. New Mexico has rescinded the mask mandate and says you don't have to wear it outside anymore if you're vaccinated. But it's funny, we have like one of the highest vaccination rates for like 70% of our adults are vaccinated,
Wow.
but we're all still wearing the masks. And I'll admit, I still don't know which stores are doing it and aren't, so I just put it on because I just literally don't want to get turned away at the door
Yeah.
when I'm running
Yeah.
errands. Like, so I just don't think about it. It's in the car, I put it on, I don't worry about it, and that's how it is. I will say my wife, who is a distance runner, she likes to run. She has now just been more likely to want it off sometimes running, but
Oh
she runs
gosh.
outside out in the middle of nowhere, so it's like she probably never needed to have it. But they
Well,
had it. The mandate was there, and they were checking people. So
I went
who
into
knows?
Safeway a couple of days ago, and new sign on the door.
Yeah,
If you have not been vaccinated, we strongly recommend you wear a mask. And so, of course, I took my mask off immediately. I walked in. There were like me and two other people with their masks off, and everyone else had theirs on. And I felt like, remember the movie The Elephant Man? I'm not an
yeah,
animal.
yeah. No, yeah. And I like I say, I still keep mine on mostly. It's I don't know. And honestly, the other thing I have is like my wife got her second stick, but where she's not done yet, and I'm like, all right, I'm just until our household is done. I'm just like until the household is done. No
Yeah.
chances, no messing around. And also that was kind of my schedule for the shows, going back to the shows as well, was like, all right, I'm not doing it until I can make sure my wife's fully vaccinated. Once she's fully vaccinated, then I will go to the shows. Because
Yeah.
otherwise, I'm like, I don't want to come bring it back. Because I know, as I'm sure you know, if you go to the trade shows on a normal year without all of this going on, you come home with kind of you folks who know like fan conventions will know con crud, the con flu or con plague. Like you bring stuff back from trade shows anyway. I know that'll be my only thing. I was actually excited we can wear one because I think I almost want to at the show floor just because I don't want to bring home the normal cold that I get when I'm done at the shows. But yeah, no, it's a very different thing. Let's check in with some of the listeners we have. And I always forget. Remind us who you are, Kingsbury Crafts. So I say your name correctly, but listening busy here. Yeah. busy at work. I know in the beautiful and brilliant studios I'm usually in. Why am I not there today? Because honestly, we were so busy. I stayed in the home office and just were grinding like crazy for the last couple days. So busy with us and Brilliance too, producing assets. Todd says, heating up. Funny, feels like it's 41 here today. Haven't heard how many inches of sunshine Terry has been receiving lately.
Well, Todd, I'd happy to share with you that we have 9 inches of sunshine coming down. No end in sight. It will be 100 degrees again here today, but as we always say, it's a dry heat.
Yeah, if you guys don't know, if you are new listeners who haven't been to Regular Guys listeners, Terry Combs is out in the great state of Arizona. And yeah, it's where he is. It is quite warm and nice. And also, I will say from doing ThreadX out there, it ain't that bad. I mean, we throw shade at Arizona out here in Albuquerque, but that was nice. Scottsdale's pretty nice to hang out and drink a couple beers on the out at the bars along the road. I'm not going to say, it's not the worst place ever.
And honestly, 100 degrees here, you can walk around outside and you're not going to break a sweat. Now, in July and August, when it gets to 115 degrees, it's just hot. So
yeah. I love that up in the mountains where I am in Albuquerque, we have the best of both worlds. It's horrifically hot, and also we're high up enough that winter is cold. So that's always nice. It's also a dry, freezing cold. I love when everybody's like, oh, New Mexico. And I'm like, it is sub-zero for a few days of the year. I know it's not Chicago. I know it's not you guys up north, but we benefited from both. The only thing we don't have is digging yourself out of the snow all the time. And boy, I'm happy not to do that.
But well, same in Arizona. Yeah, sure. We're the Valley of the Sun. Well, you go up in any direction, and you can go skiing an hour and a half from Phoenix.
Totally. So. I don't think people get high desert. The way the high desert works is not how you think it works. Like you have to Taos or you go over to the upper elevations, and it's just cold, guys. Like it's cold. The air is thin. My house is over 7,000 feet. So we're already up there, let alone if you go up to the top of San Diaz, you can do that. Though I'm going to agree with Audrey here. Let's talk about masks briefly. I have saved on paying for lipstick since wearing a mask. I'm going to say I now resent my razor more because I can't just run out to the store and be like, I'm not shaving. Forget it today. Not going to happen.
I did hear that lipstick sales are going through the roof, and here's a sad one though, deodorant sales, and I'm thinking, really? I get you're at home, but come on.
So what that tells me, if you guys are, as I assume you are, lots of you folks are in a decorated apparel, it's a good time to start looking back at shirts and maybe switching your platens out. There's still going to be masks to be printed, but if you got that big bale of masks, it might be time to get those sold.
Get them moving, yeah.
Get them moving before you can.
I see Kim Johnson says, hey, boys. Hey, I didn't answer your call because I'm here with Eric. So.
Sorry, Kim. That's my fault. Yeah. Aaron asked Terry to fill in on the half because who's going to cut me off? Who's going to get cut off? I don't know. I mean, we got to figure that out.
I wasn't paying attention to the time. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no. Believe me, we're taking bets, and actually, I already have told everybody. Very hopeful to be able to cut you off mid-sentence.
Is it because of all the e-riches that I've shared over the past couple of years?
If only you would say one right at 29:29, my friend. No, we give Terry crap, but honestly, it's a big love fest. We all care about each other, but yeah, we do still give each other crap. It's there still is a little bit of that locker room rhetoric at the show. Sometimes we do kind of give each other trouble.
Well, and it was live on a show when it just kind of struck me that Erich and he's spinning the tunes in the clubs at night because that's his rapper name and his DJ name, DJ Erich.
Yeah, as I say to anybody who repeats that to me, I have 0 bars, none. You want me to recite Beowulf? I guess put the beat on and we'll try. I don't know how we're going to do it. I don't have bars. I don't know. One of these days, maybe I will have to actually try and learn to do some, just so that one day Terry will say that, and then I just mad 8 Mile Eminem spit spit bars for 30 seconds, and everybody freaks out. I'm waiting for that that 80s movie reveal where I can just the quiet guy has talent, so it would be fun. But yeah. Anyway,
well, I've heard you recite Beowulf, so
yeah,
don't anybody ask for that.
Yeah, no, you don't need Old English in your life. I mean, believe me, you can get some if you want it, but you don't need it. Anyway, let's see. So there is Q&A here. I will, because we got some comments here that says this is Q&A. We will answer Q&A. I don't know if I really want to answer Aaron's question. Aaron is listening in the chat and giving us trouble from afar. Aaron says, this is Q&A, right? How does Terry keep his hair so tight? I'm going to say same way I do.
Well, you wear a
really
hat.
No
How do we know?
Because I mean, guys, you know I'm bald. I've said it a million times. I wear the hat out of like reflex because if, as you know, in Phoenix, if I go outside with this pate up here completely exposed for any period of time, I'm going to be crispy like bacon. So
Wait,
especially
it's the hair. I thought the sun was just getting more intense. That's why I had to start wearing a hat.
Yeah, over time it feels that way, doesn't it, my friend? So yeah, Todd says no mask tan lines this summer. Yeah, no. If you were really into mask tan lines, your time is up. No excuses if you have mask tan lines, I guess. But we'll see this.
I did think early on in this whole process, and I actually saw this on Smithsonian Channel. I thought, well, what about people who read lips? Mm-hmm. And there was a company where they hire a whole group of deaf people, and they had masks that were clear in the front so that they could read lips with each other. But that's got to be very, very difficult for somebody just going out shopping or whatever. How do you go about it?
That's got to be incredibly rough. I can't imagine for folks who are hearing impaired how it's been dealing with all this stuff. I mean, if there's one good thing, we've gotten to this point where online video is getting better. And I don't know if you guys have on Android, it has live captioning, even if the video itself doesn't have captioning or there's no auto process captioning. It will caption like this right now that's live where we don't have captions. On an Android, you can turn on live captioning and it'll try its best. So it's good that I think with all the online meeting technology, more of that is going on. But yeah, I can't imagine. It must have been incredibly hard for those folks. So yeah, it's
I wonder if the captioning also is like when Aaron forgets to turn on his microphone and I start overdubbing him in Spanish.
Oh, yeah, no. The captioning is rough. I'm going to say from people like us who often talk technical about a subject, yeah, the auto captioning is not picking up digitizing and density all the time correctly, or weird things I might talk about like shiftly embroidery. That's not going to happen. We're not going to get that out of the text. So you're just going to have to figure that out. But I will go ahead and grab. We got a couple more comments here. Kathleen says hooked on classics. Yeah, I know. And here's the thing. I actually like rap music. I'm not opposed. But I'm sure with my folk music, my Appalachian dulcimer back here, and me talking about old English, I'm probably sounding like a fuddy-duddy right now. We also have Aaron thanking us because he's currently in the VA, so hopefully your dad's doing good. So he's sitting in a waiting room, so thank you for covering.
Nothing serious. I believe it's just some tests.
Just a visit. So hopefully you guys are doing good. I mean, going to the hospital always kind of sucks, especially these days. Lisa says, good morning. Had to do a double take when I saw Terry. Good to see you. I'm sure you wanted in the fun of the cutoff. Yeah, right.
Well, I had a realization, Lisa, that I'm not actually in the backstage studio, so I don't have access to the button. Yeah. All I can do is just leave the studio suddenly.
Here's what I can do. And I have done this, what you guys may not know in the background before. I have looked up while I was talking, noticed that I was going over the line, and this is how much I believe in the half. I will cut myself off too. Trust me, I have done it. This has happened before when Aaron forgot. I looked at the time and I'm like, we're over the 30. Dump button in the middle of what I was saying, which, by the way, for some reason is still funny to me. Anyway, so that's good. Todd says, at what age do you move from the History Channel to the Smithsonian?
Oh, I go back and forth because, you have to have the History Channel to watch The Curse of Oak Island. So Smithsonian, though, has a really cool show. You guys should check it out. The Real Mad Men. And it's talking about, they show clips from the Mad Men show, but then they talk about what it was based on, the actual people, and it's really, really interesting. Yeah, I think it's 3 or 4 episodes.
Oh, those days of advertising or something else.
Yeah, it's
like if you haven't looked at it. Yeah, no, if you haven't at all heard about it, it's very interesting. That and the way modern advertising comes out is totally tied up in like psychotherapy and psychology. And it's the inception of modern marketing is a heck of a thing. by the way,
Yeah.
folks, because they really, I mean, it is meant to influence you from the get go. Yeah, advertising is really trying to do that. When everybody like, it's not just my dad who says that's how they get you. No, they're trying to get you. Especially back then, they were definitely trying to get you. But yeah, I love talking about that kind of era. There's a whole an entire subject to be brought up there. So yeah,
For
I
whoever
know.
out there hasn't watched Mad Men, go do it. It's awesome.
Sure. Yeah, for sure. Oh, and by the way, History Channel, the 24-hour World War II channel. I don't know if it's moved on now. Now I think it's more reality shows, as you pointed out. But I stopped the old History Channel because I was just like, yeah, I've pretty much seen that bomber as many times as I can take. Yeah, there was a period of time where it was the all Hitler station. I was done with that.
That's right. That's what my daughter called it. The all
Yep.
Hitler state,
All
the Hitler
Hitler
station, all Hitler, all the time.
Pretty much. You can't go very long without it happening, and I don't know. That's I got a little done with it sometimes.
Well,
but
that's like the Travel Channel. Travel Channel used to remember talk about travel. Now
yes.
it's all hauntings, paranormal, Bigfoot.
Yeah, that's God, I can't remember what the other channel was. There was one that became like ID, and it was all this technical stuff. Now it's just true crime. True crime all the time. So I have left cable behind many years ago. I'm a big time cord cutter. I don't watch anything scheduled, if I watch much at all. But when I do, yeah. Now what happens to me though is then my wife and I will start binging an old show as if this was current. And so if you catch me and my wife at any given time, we'll be talking about like Star Trek, Deep Space Nine, and I'm like, that's like 20 years ago now. Like that's not current at all. No one wants to talk about this except for us for the next month or so while we're binging this sucker. So yeah, that's my problem now. I'm just unspooled from time. Somebody talks about an ad or about a TV show that's current, and I have no idea.
Well, Kim commented, "All Terry
Yeah.
does is watch TV. If you can't tell, thank you for sharing that."
Oh man!
When I was talking about the Travel Channel, I know that because I watch it all the time.
Hey, Terry
and
travels
yes, Todd,
a lot.
and yes, Todd, they are still digging the money pit. 8 years they've been digging, but I feel good about next year. I'm committed for another season.
This is like
because they're digging. They start now.
Yeah.
And because they can only work through the summer months because it's in the North Atlantic, and then they show it come fall. So I got football in the fall. I got Curse of Oak Island in the fall, and then I have college basketball in the fall. It's the perfect time of the year.
See, I don't have a schedule like this, though I do know. If you guys don't know Oak Island, look it up. There's supposedly a buried treasure, which we still have not found, and some bad stuff is happening to people messing around. But yeah, apparently everybody else knows, because here's Aaron saying, is there any island left to dig? I guess I'm left out. The funny thing is, one of my wife's kind of secret passions and stuff that she really likes is there's an Australian podcast that she's listened to. She's not a believer in weird stuff, but they talk about weird stuff and paranormal stuff and aliens. And these two guys are hilarious. It's called Mysterious Universe. And I will listen to this thing and I have no truck with this stuff. I don't care at all about any of it. And it is just hilarious. There's something about Aussies. I've worked with Aussies. I love Aussies. So, no disrespect, but these guys are just funny. And there's something about Aussie humor that makes it that much better. So yeah,
she just likes their accents.
Oh yeah, totally. No, and honestly, I like it too, because having worked with Aussies for a while, it's kind of nice. I don't know. There's some kind of old home feeling about their humor and jokes and stuff. So I do kind of like listening to them talk that. And honestly, I don't want to, once again, this is one where I have to step carefully. I know a lot of folks out in New Mexico with fun accents, and I love some of the guys who call in from the rougher parts of Australia. It makes me think a lot of the old guys I know who would tell stories out here in New Mexico, and there is nothing like the accent of the guys who call in. Very worthwhile. Worthwhile listening to hear somebody tell you about the Yowie, which is like their Sasquatch out in the bush. It is worthwhile if you find one of those episodes.
What's it called again? I want to check
Yowie.
it out.
No, Mysterious Universe. MysteriousUniverse.org. Ben and Aaron, I've listened to a few of those, and my wife is a listener. I'm sure she loves that I'm giving up. She listens to them, but she's a longtime listener. One of those things where she's just like, no, I just like the weird stories. I'm like, I don't believe in any of this stuff. I just like to listen to them tell these weird stories. And I was like, yeah. And I was totally skeptical about that until I listened to a few of them, and they're hilarious. They're absolutely hilarious. Plus, chock full of pop culture references and all the fun stuff that they do. But yeah, I'm a big podcast guy. I like to listen to podcasts while I work. And having digitized for many years, I will say this: if you're not writing, when you're doing the language stuff, I've tried to write an article while listening to podcasts. Yeah, that's all language center stuff. That won't work. But digitizing and listening to podcasts or audiobooks, that works very well. So I've listened to a lot of podcasts in my lifetime.
I do have a TV right there. So just in case
like, I am watching TV while we're on this.
The Travel Channel. It's no.
It's Rick Steves Europe or whatever. I can't remember that guy's name. Can't remember him. But yeah, I like. There's a few YouTube channels that I really love that do travel stuff. I still like the travel side of that stuff though. But some of the best ones are people who do kind of ironic or weird tours and urban exploration. I can't leave that stuff alone on YouTube. If you're somewhere in like a disabused warehouse floor from World War II that hasn't been open in a long time, I will be there watching you fall down stuff for sure. I don't mind watching you walk on sketchy trapdoors. Like I am all about that. So yeah, urban exploration is another one. I try and leave that stuff alone, but when I see it, I'm like,
that's a huge thing now. That's a huge thing for people to do. Super dangerous.
Super. Yeah. Very inadvisable. Completely illegal. Don't do that stuff. Great to watch on YouTube. Yeah. Fantastic in the comfort of your own home to go, oh man, I wouldn't climb up that. or Dead Malls is another one. I tried not to watch that, and for some reason I had a week where all I wanted to do was watch another series of what's this dead mall look like now, and I don't know why, but dead mall spaces and commercial buildings that haven't been open in 20 years. Apparently, I'm here to walk around in one of those.
Do they overlay it with performances by Tiffany because wasn't she the mall singer?
Yes, and the great thing about this stuff is they literally do sometimes have footage, or they will play the ads. There is nothing quite as creepy in a weird way as listening to a 1980s ad for the mall and seeing all the stuff, and then they start overlaying it with the pan shots of the dead mall. Nothing will give you Walking Dead feelings quicker, aside from the actual Walking Dead, than watching one of these dead malls, and they're just panning across, and they fade the image out from like staticky, badly tracked VHS out into the actual dead mall, and you're like, okay. Post-Human World is a little creepier than I remembered it, but I didn't think I would get it, via mall. But hey,
I'm picturing in my mind the Brady movie when let's go to Sears and they're all singing on the escalator.
Yeah. And then cut to post-apocalyptic USA.
There you go.
That's the hard cut that'll get you going. Yeah, no, those are great. But I don't know. Like, hey, I'll make it creative again. Oh, when you're trying to make art, people, you got to consume broadly. So you create with focus. Yeah, no, that's I love that stuff. And so yeah, here we have a couple more comments. Why not? Lisa says Nick just binge watched 12 Monkeys, a series. I know what that movie is, so the fact that there's a series of that is very strange to me.
I didn't realize there was a series either. The movie was good. But
yeah, bizarre time traveling, crazy stuff. I'm in. I'll have to look that up. Like I said, my wife and I are kind of Star Trek nerds. We'll go through the Star Trek series once in a while. So we're on DS9 right now. Like when I get to watch, which I don't, DS9 right now. But yeah, Kim, of course, unhappy about your mass amount of fall watching schedule. Oh, great. Face palms ahoy. There we go. Todd says, what about Gold Rush? Yeah, I watched that back in the day, really early on. Is that still running, Gold Rush?
I think so. I've only seen one or two episodes of that, but
that's one of those ones where I don't know. I didn't really get into it too far, but
yeah. It's not real like Curse of Oak Island.
Oh my God. Oh yeah. That's from 7, and this one bothers me. Once in the Box. Don't look that up. The movie 7, if you don't want to see horrible, horrible things, don't look up What's in the Box. What cracked me up though, if you guys do know the movie 7, which is an awful like thriller horror movie, that quote is very disturbing. What happens with that? I'm not going to give you spoilers on it, but it's very disturbing. And then the other day, somebody was unboxing. They had purchased, and I sell on Amazon, so I've done a lot of research on Amazon stuff. So I watched this video. These people were purchasing Amazon returns en masse, and the company that sells them has this creepy monkey logo, and the company's name was What's in the Box. And
I love it.
I was like, okay, foul. It has not been far enough away mentally for me to disassociate the quote from the movie Seven from a box full of electronics from Amazon. But yeah,
Well,
branding can be different.
I do a lot of quotes from Big Bang, and Kim just stares at me blankly. But how about Walking Dead? Look at the flowers.
Ugh. No.
Yeah.
No one likes this.
That's a great line. Any Walking Dead fan is like, oh,
God. And I read the graphic novels, the comic books. I don't care.
Of course you did.
I read the comic book, and all I'll say is like, there is no version of Walking Dead that ends well or is nice. So let's just leave it at that. If you'd like to maintain your faith in humanity, don't bother.
Yeah, and don't watch with me from the beginning, because I'll just point out, hey, in season 3, episode 7, she dies.
Yeah,
and it's true of everyone on the show. So
yeah, it's not a if, it's a when. So so that's one of the problems. You love a character, they couldn't possibly go away. I don't know. Don't take the odds on that one. Lisa says,
as a writer, that we look at that anyway, because it's like, oh, really? You like that character? Dead.
Yeah, you're like, that means extra impact when I kill them off. Lisa jumps in about Gold Rush. Says Gold Rush is my favorite trade show travel show. Oh yeah, trade show shows. That's the only time I do watch cable whatsoever. Is sometimes when I'm in the trade show rooms. I hadn't thought about that. Now that I'm gonna be traveling again. Look forward to the wonderful movie selections that are on the plane. And Todd says, I think Kim stares at you blankly a lot.
That's absolutely true, Todd.
If your friends and or significant others don't stare at you blankly, tell me what it's like. I don't know. I get that one a lot. Mostly my wife just kind of shakes her head a lot, I think, but
Yeah.
I think the worst thing I do that gets me the shaking head, by the way, would have to be answering a serious question by delivering song lyrics with no affect. Just deliver a song lyric and don't let on that it's a song lyric for as long as possible.
Oh,
that's my favorite thing.
I notoriously quote song lyrics to people.
I love doing that. The best thing, though, is when you get about 3 or 4 words in, 5 words in before they figure out you're doing it, and the anger, the sheer unbridled anger that comes back from that is chef's kiss. Is fantastic. It's the worst kind of humor, but I do like it quite a lot. If you catch me doing that, I fully welcome you to yell at me, because I deserve it, because that's not fun at all. But
I think the song lyric that I quote most for some reason is "Don't go changing to try and please me." When somebody goes, well, let me just run up and change, and I always respond, "Don't go changing to try and please me."
Oh, that's good. I like that. And in the grand tradition of Terry Combs, I will steal that. I'll tell somebody once that I took it from Terry, but after that, I'm just going to do that by myself. Now it's mine.
That's the rule.
That's the rule. That's the rule. Entire things that you teach. That's what we do these days,
Exactly.
Oh man,
it's all borrowed from somewhere. So
it's all borrowed from somewhere. But hey, that's why we do what we do, though. I mean, it's standing on the shoulders of giants. I think that's fair to say. Most of the things we do today on the Two Other Guys, we're talking about RIP software. I mean, dots are dots. Printing is printing at a basic elemental level. Everything else on top of it, we learn more stuff, and I think that's everything we teach too. It's like the elements are there. Ink changes, but maybe not that much. Thread changes, but even less. I mean, these things have been the way they are for some time. I always love kind of explaining to people. I'm like, most of the drive portions of an embroidery system, like interlock stitching on a sewing machine, hasn't changed for a couple hundred years. Like, yes, there's a lot around it that changes, but the basic nature of stuff doesn't change a whole lot. So yeah.
Well, that's the same in screen printing. It's there are things that make it a little easier and really cheaper, making film positive, things like that.
Yeah,
substantially cheaper. But process screen printing is screen printing is screen printing. So
well, and that's why I think that's the thing. This is why we really, by the way, why we teach and why we love to teach is because no secrets. Brian always says, no secrets. Okay, a couple more quotes before we get going here. The dude knows word for word on Big Bang Theory, dumbest show ever. Wow, shots fired, Terry Combs. Shots fired.
I do tell her, she'll be like, "Are you watching Big Bang again?" I'm like, "I think I haven't seen this episode." She's like, "Whatever."
Oh man. Hey, if someone still hangs around you after they say the whatever, then you know you're good.
There you go. There you go.
And Frank says, as of course, use more than once and it's yours. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of how it goes. I mean, I think we all like to add something unique and help out, but yeah. That's just how it is, I think that's good. And Aaron chimes in about my song lyric habit. I do that, and then also make up my own words to music. That's also worthwhile.
Then it's not quoting songs, but hey, whatever.
Hey, you do you.
Unless you sing it, and we recognize what that song would have been, but you've just used different words.
Though I will say, singing in reply to someone along with some music, also one of those bad habits. You know what I say about bad habits?